I thought I muted the mic, I thought I unmuted the mic, I was very confused. We should be live. There we go. To let the game catch up. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna check my audio just real quick. Mic issues. Fixing it. Okay, that might be better. Hopefully it's better. Wait for the stream to catch up for me. It is better. Sorry about that. I don't know why my mic does that. It's kind of at random. It'll start up all choppy like that. I am going to go plug my phone in across the room. And then we can get this party started. All right. Get my chair back over here. Everything's situated. Alright, I think I was gonna start this in a new game. I can't remember. Oh, that's not the right button. Everything is wrong! Okay, there we go. Having a moment. Don't worry about me. We all have those, I hope. Alright, I'll minimize that because that's not my info. You are an interesting looking man, but you are not what I want. So we're gonna make you pretty lady. If I can... Nope, that's the wrong button. So is that... No, that was the right button. I'm just really special. Welcome to the stream where Katie doesn't know what she's doing. There, okay, pretty lady. I just didn't want to look at him. Don't judge me. Don't. So, if you can't already tell by the title, which I hopefully already set, I think I did that this afternoon so I didn't have to worry about trying to do it later. I need to minimize all these things. We are going to be making all of my pets. Which is actually not as many as you might think. And for the ones that I do have photos of, I will show you guys because I know people are pretty interested in that. Let's think here. There are two of them that I don't have photos for, so I figured I would start off with those. They'd probably be the most boring before the stream really gets going. So, we will start with Katie's first dog. Why am I speaking in third person? I don't know. She was a little black Scottish Terrier. Now this is kind of sad. So, if I can pull up my little cheat sheet of information over here. We got this dog when I was, I think I was turning 4. And we got a little black Scottish Terrier, very, very little. And I believe she was just all black. And we got her from somebody who had a show dog that was a Scottish Terrier. And I named her Maisie, which if you were a child in the late 90s, you might remember the show. I think it was called Maisie. It was a kids' TV show about a mouse, and that's really all I remember because I was 4, and incredibly stupid because I just picked the name of the main character on the show to name my dog. I promise, these names, they get better. And if I recall correctly, this dog was incredibly playful. She was very, very smart and super duper friendly. But like all animals, poor Maisie passed. And we were actually kind of surprised by this one because Maisie had something called, I think it's hemolytic anemia, and usually I don't see it, or the type that she had, you usually don't see in puppies that make it very long out of puppyhood. And Maisie made it until New Year's Eve of 2000. So May of 99 all the way to December 31st, 2000. Not very long. I didn't really remember her very much growing up. Sorry, my noisy water bottle. I didn't really remember her because I was so young. She probably would have lived for a very long time because those dogs are usually pretty healthy. And they're kind of cute. I like their weird, gigantic mustache situation going on in the face. I think it's pretty stinking cute. They look like little old men all the time. But Maisie was not my first pet. We'll get to that one later because I wanted to save the best two for last. However, the third pet that I had, I also don't have photos of because I'm lame. We had this black cat, and she was awesome. She was super feral, but she was incredibly awesome. And in some giant stroke of genius, whatever the word happens to be, I named this cat Pandora. Which, if you don't know the story, there's Pandora's box, and it's a box full of, like, bad things. It's an old story. I can't remember if it's biblical or not. But this cat was a huge wild card. Like, the whole time we had her, she would break things around the house. You know those cliche little things that your mom would make you do where she puts your hands in clay and makes your handprints and then keeps it forever? Because moms. Well, this cat knocked mine over, so somewhere in my mom's pile of stuff, she has it, like, glued back together. It's this damn cat. She would bring field mice into the house. She would kill birds and leave them at the back door. She was crazy. She was super crazy. But she was kind of clever. Definitely a prowler. And definitely mischievous. You know that whole thing where there's, like, the cat that tears up some kind of chair in the house? That was my cat. There's the underside of this old chair. I think it's still in my parents' bedroom. The total underside of this thing is just tattered bits of fabric from this poor fucking cat. It is a kitty. Hi, Scorpio. So, I'm pretty sure she was a short hair. Yeah, it was incredibly short hair. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, that just made her fatter. What is with those paws? Okay, it looks totally weird from this angle. It looks like little tiny popsicle sticks on a big fat cat. And she was really thin. She used to roam around the neighborhood. She was freaking nuts. Can I make it smaller? Oh, I can. Hello. I mean... yeah, this cat kind of just, like, attacked other cats. If I could do it, she had a little cutout on the top of her ear, which I know that makes me sound like a horrible cat owner, but she, like, did not want to be home, and that's the weird thing with feral cats. You can't make them stay at home if they don't want to be at home. So, when my parents moved, let's see, we got her in the spring of 2000, so I was about 5. We surrendered her, I can't remember if it was to a, like, animal shelter, or if we had to surrender her to some kind of person who did, like, better things for feral cats, let them roam around the farm. But I know that my parents had to when we moved, because she wasn't going to make it in Arizona. It's too hot here to have cats doing that business. Which is kind of sad, because I liked her. She was cool. It was that fun story I'd tell my friends, you may or may not see my crazy cat. But she was kind of neat. I'm just glad she wasn't the kind of feral cat that, like, beat the crap out of me. Because some of them are just not nice. They're definitely not cuddly animals, though, that's for sure. Where did my string go? So now I actually have for you pictures for the rest. Let's see if I can make this work. I tested this earlier and it totally worked. Hey, it does! So what you should be seeing now, sorry for the, like, abrupt transition, I'm so great at this. We rescued this little teacup chihuahua in August of 2007. We had not been here for very long because I came here in June of 2007. And this poor little doofus, he was wandering around underneath the moving truck of some guy who was trying to move in at the end of our street. Well, this poor dude, he was afraid of men. And it's this guy moving in, me and my dad. So I'm sitting there like, wait, I wonder if I can get the puppy out from under the moving van. So we did. The family who had him, I guess, had, like, dumped him. I'm not really sure. They left him behind. It was the weirdest thing. Like, he had pink nail polish. And you would think, if you're going to paint your dog's nails, like, maybe you care enough about your dog to be nice to them? Maybe? Oh gosh, they look so dorky in Sims. They look really dorky in Sims. He was more like this, but like this without spots. Let's see. I know I can change the code. And, we dressed up this dog, as you just saw in the photos. We dressed him up in Christmas clothing. The total cliche move that you do with your poor dumb dog. God, it was awful. This poor dumb dog. He was dressed up all the time. I think it works better on the other coat type to do this. There. Wait, what? Did I type in the wrong thing? These are not the animals you are looking for. Oh, I guess I am selected to it. No, I am not. I typed in 8. Please tell me how I managed to do that. This one does not want to go through, so we're going to redo that. Sometimes this game, like, jumps in weird places. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But anyway, Max was our Chihuahua, and he was kind of a little showlord. Thank you, Scorpio, for the audio check. This poor dog would pee on everything. Like, I am not kidding you, everything. If there was a surface that you could pee on, he would have peed on it. It is hard to recreate these little guys. That's why he didn't have that. That's pretty close. His markings weren't this, like, sharp. And you know the joke of where the Chihuahua always shakes? Like, it's just a thing that people say about Chihuahuas. I am not kidding you. For every occasion, this dog would shake. Excited, scared, cold, just breathing, shaking. It was the strangest thing. I didn't think that was a real, thing that Chihuahuas did. He was not vocal. I don't know why that was pre-selected for that. Oh, what was he, other than a little bastard? I mean, a bad puppy. Shh. So we had Max. Like I said, we found him in August of 2007. We don't know when he was born. The information on his chip was, like, old and not completely updated. It was strange. And then in November of 2009, my uncle, he was over helping us do tile work in our house. And I can't remember if he bonded with the dog or if his girlfriend who visited had bonded with the dog. But they ended up taking him. Hey, there we go, troublemaker, making a dookie in the house. Perfect. He never did that. It was mostly pee. Boy dogs are weird. They do that. But anyway, my uncle ended up taking him. And I guess he passed at some point. I don't really know. We were never that invested in Max. We rescued him, and then my parents, we surrendered him over to I think it was an ASPCA in the next city over because we didn't have one. My parents went to that city, picked him up while I was at school, and brought him back because I kind of bonded with this little dude while we were watching him, waiting for the ASPCA people to find a time to get him. Just in case the family who left their phone number and whatnot on his chip wanted him back. Well, they never came and got him. They never called. People tried to reach them and nothing was said. It was kind of sad. Like, why not care about your animal. I get it, like, he pees in the house a lot. Train him, you know? We didn't know anything yet. More loud water bottle noises. But Max was pretty cute, other than, you know, the peeing. He just always looked scared. Just 24/7 a scared face going on. Let's see, who is next? Let's find out. Whoosh. That's gonna be my transition noise. Next we have my grandmother's cat. I loved this cat so much. Like, looking at him, he looks pretty cool, right? He was a Russian blue. And this dude was awesome. I'd never seen Russian blues before, so I didn't really know, like, their personalities are different from just your standard house cat. They aren't super affectionate to, like, massive amounts of people, like a large family. They usually pick one person and they stick with that person. Transition back. Whoosh. I don't know why I like that. But I'd never seen one before, and I just thought, wow, dude, those eyes. So they're like this crazy, deep, yellow eyes on a cat who's super duper gray. Now, he wasn't exactly fond of me at first, because my grandmother got him when I was about 7. And he's a Russian blue. I didn't even know they came in other colors. I literally thought Russian blue was just this blue-gray color. That's interesting. The more you know. He was awesome. He was also super duper fat. Russian blues kind of have a problem with getting fat. I don't know what it is, but it's like them and corgis for sure. They'll just eat and eat and eat. But Tsar, which Tsar is like the ruler of the Russian kingdom, haha, because he's Russian blue. No, Tsar was super fat. Tsar was super obese. He just always gained weight. I don't know why, but he was fat. They tried everything for him. You're loving the stream. I'm glad someone is. I wanted to do this so bad, but I didn't get cats and dogs till recently. Anyway, super duper fat Tsar. I would visit my grandparents over the weekend, and my parents would have, like, date time and whatever. I don't know. I was, like, 12. Well, actually, I was 2 until 12. And when I had this cat, I'd visit, and I'd be like, oh, where's Tsar? Well, he would be, like, laying on the bed, just chilling with his big fat udder tummy hanging out. And you can't make that in Sims. And that, my friends, is a disappointment. Because that's the greatest part of having a fat cat. They just get this little tummy, and you can poke it. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. Yeah, Katie learned that eventually. He smacked me real good across the back of my hand once, and it was quite painful. These cats, they're like big. I think he was like 15 pounds when he wasn't heavy. Fucking huge, man. That's not a cat, that's a monster. Yes, he was aloof. He was definitely aloof. That's called a landmine. He was aloof, and he was lazy, and he probably had an issue with food. That is a Russian blue in a nutshell. Like, 10 out of 10. And his name was Tsar. I promise, these stories get better, and I have more of them the further through we go. Like, I saved the best ones for last. It's gonna be awesome. And then we're gonna try to build my house if there's enough time. My like, childhood home, but, you know, spoilers. So Tsar would visit us, and I had a cat at the time. You'll see her later when I create her. And they didn't get along. Let's see if I can find Tsar's collar. They never got along. Like, they hated each other. It was pretty hilarious, but also kind of scary, because you were like, what if they get in a kitty fight? Well, they didn't. They never did. They were both kind of too lazy and old. He was born in 2000. My cat was born in 97, the one that you'll see later. And this was in, like, 2007. So they were both, you know, old and complacent and grouchy. But he would sit in the middle of the hall. I shit you not. The middle of the hall. Like, I bet if you measured it, it's the middle. He'd just sit there and not let her pass by to go to my room. Completely just blocking her path. And I don't know if that's a him thing or if they just do that. Your little dog is a biter? Yeah, some little dogs, I swear, it's like Napoleon complex. They bite the shit out of people for no reason. Like the Chihuahua that we had, he would nibble at people. Oh, somebody did a thing. Oh, thanks for following. Oh, I've never seen my little action for that. That's kind of cute. Sweet. Oh, shit. I got all the follows. Thanks, DJ. I will tell you, though, I think the worst bite dog I've ever seen, like the worst biting type, blah, 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 it was a little Boston Terrier. And it started, like, trying to nip at my dad's ankles, and this dog that we have now totally, like, ran that thing across the room, scared it. I'd be surprised if it didn't pee. It's totally fine if you're not good with English. I mean, we all have our moments. English is not a super easy language. I will be the first to admit that. I actually had problems with English when I was a little kid. I would confuse words and spellings and just totally give up. Let's see, I think we have enough about Czar. I can't really think much. He was just, you know, one of those king cats who runs the house but doesn't like many people. He loved my grandmother. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's right. How she got him. Most important story about him. Cat, how you find them. This woman, water break, sorry. There was a woman that my grandmother worked with who had a friend or she had a neighbor, and they'd had this cat for about 2 years, and her husband was completely allergic, could not be around the cat. They'd tried shots and pills and, you know, all kinds of stuff. He was just totally allergic to all cats, and they had to give up. They couldn't handle Mr. Kitty. She's a poodle. When I go outside, she jumps on me a whole bunch. Yeah, I've heard that poodles can get pretty excited and start jumping around on people. Oh, my dog does that. She likes to play chicken. Basically, I'll let her out, she'll rush out into the yard, and then I'll be walking back to the door after I dump the trash. And she'll start running at me full force. And it's one of those games. You can either chicken out and she'll run into you intentionally, or you can stand your ground and she'll get scared. So she started doing that instead of jumping on people, which I'm not sure what's worse. Anyway, Czar. So the chick was trying everything with her husband, and eventually, I think it was like 18 months, I kid you not, they had this cat forever. They had to give him up. So they were trying to find somebody who's really good with cats to rehome. And word came through the grapevine at work, and my grandmother came and scooped him up. He lived to be about 13, which is pretty good because he had some kidney problems. And from the story that I recall, it was one of those where you got up in the morning and Mr. Kitty had kind of like passed in his sleep, super sad, but honestly, I think that's a better way than having to put your animal down. That's always a sad route. But pets, man, why is there always a sad ending? Like every time with a pet. Who is next on our list? Let's find out. Oh, yes. So, we have this friend, and he works with the police department near where we live. Excuse me. And he had this little corgi. And this little corgi, well, he wasn't that little. He was little compared to, most large-size animals. This guy was a character. I have no idea when he was born, but I know that our cop friend had him for probably close to 10 years, if not about 10 years. And when our cop friend divorced his wife, he came and he stayed with us for a while because she was kind of bad words that I don't want to say on my stream. So he brought his dog. And this little dude was great. His name was Hemi, which was actually short for Hemingway, like the writer. He picked this dog up from some couple. I guess they couldn't take care of him anymore. I'm not quite sure. And he'd had him for quite a long time before he came to us and stayed with us for that, I think it was 12 months, maybe about 12-ish. This little dude was so freaking cool, and he was so silly, and it's actually what made me really like corgis. I never saw the draw to a corgi until I'd met him. Wow, that's almost exactly perfect. Way to go, Sims, with your painting colors. This little dude is fat, because corgis, if you don't know, they overeat, and they turn into little sausages, and then when they lay on their little tummies, they flick their feet out behind them, and it's the cutest gosh darn thing I think I've ever seen in my whole life, and make them fat, yeah, with little tiny legs. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. He was starting to get, arthritis in his back legs, so he sort of walked funny. And he would try to run for you, but he would, bounce. So it's that cliche of the dog that bounces around the house. Totally great. Loved it. My dog is still a puppy. She's about the size of a chihuahua, and I still fall. Oh, puppies are so cute. They're full of energy, man, right? Gosh. I know my girl, when she was a puppy, was just, a ball of energy bouncing off the walls 24/7. I don't know how any of us slept. She was a handful. This dude was super funny. Weirdest thing, though, he couldn't eat, regular food. It would bother his little corgi tummy. So he would eat raw pork. And I was like, that's kind of gross. And our cop friend had to go visit family at one point and was like, well, can you guys take care of him and feed him? And I'm like, yes, I will take care of your dog. I will make him my own. You will never see him again. And this poor dog, I'm trying to, feed him. And I'm grossed out with the food, trying to, grab this pork chop. It's just slimy and gross. And I'm tossing it to him. And it's his jaws unhinge. He's, swallowing whole bites of raw pork. And I'm not all about that. I'm not. I did not need to see any of that. It was an experience I could have completely avoided. And he had a cute little harness. Oh, they do. They do have little... Oh, it has a shark fin. That's kind of cute. Oh, it has a shark fin. Oh, it makes him look like he's pudgy. Little pudgy tubby. Oh, that's adorable. But this dude was also a pervert. If Hemi could leave his mark on the world, other than, peeing on a stick somewhere, he would want it to be known that he loved the ladies. This little dude would follow anybody, usually women, into the bathroom and just kind of lay there. I showed you guys a picture. Here, I'll flip to it real quick. This picture, here's my cursor, right here. There's one over on the right. That was him in my bathroom, watching through the mirror, waiting for me to get out of the shower. I kid you not, they are little perverts, or at least Hemi was. But he was so gosh darn adorable. Like, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything. They're so cute. They look like little hobos when they get dirty. We used to make jokes when he would roll around in the dirt, and he was gonna pack up his little hobo knapsack and just wander through the streets. It's pretty funny. And the little feet, they just like wiggle back. Ugh. My friend had a husky and his dog tackled me all the time. It sounds like you have a problem with dogs tackling you, my goodness. Oh, dude, German Shepherds are awesome. I love dogs, like, so much. I love big dogs. And then corgis, basically. It's like anything over 60 pounds or a corgi. Like, I feel bad for anybody who has to live with me, because I'm just gonna bring home dogs all the time. And be like, well, it's just a puppy, it's so small. It's gonna be 80 pounds, Katie, but it's just a puppy. That will be my life. Let's think. After Hemi. Oh man, here's where it gets sad, guys. And transition. I got a cat when I was about 2 years old. She was born in April of 97. I was born in June of 95. We got her in June of 97. This cat, I will never love an animal more than this cat and the dog after her that I show you guys. She was so awesome. Like, I don't even know why, because cats, right? They don't really do much, but sometimes you get one that's just super cool. I went digging for photos, and I did this the other day. And it's a good thing I wasn't on the stream while doing this, because it would have been super sad, because I started getting all, like, teary-eyed and misty. I found about a dozen photos of her on my cell phone from, I think it was 2009. And I didn't know that I had any of these photos. Like, there's one on here, the one in the top middle. This was the only one that I'd had. So I'm going through and I'm like, oh shit, I could actually, stand a chance at recreating her in Sims. And, oh holy shit, the memories, the feels, man, the feels! Oh, God. If you look up in the photo over here, in the top left, she used to sit toward the top of our staircase and just kind of watch the house once we moved here to Arizona, which is where I think all of these photos were taken. She would sit over at the top of the stairs and she would just watch. And we put a baby gate at the bottom of the stairs because once we got our puppy, which you will see as the next animal, we wanted the two of them separated because she would beat up the puppy. She was not going to be the second tier, bottom of the totem pole animal in the house. She was the queen of all the animals. She was not going to tolerate being pushed around. And when she eventually passed, our dog started sitting at the top of the stairs and watching the entire downstairs. It was the weirdest thing. She just completely, the dog took over what our cat used to do. And this cat also liked to lay in the middle of doorways, as you see right here in the bottom left. This is actually the doorway to my bathroom, and I never knew that I took this picture. But she would do this all the time and lay right in the walkway, and I would almost step on her all the time, and I felt so bad. I think most of these I had to get her attention, because she doesn't want to, she didn't want to look at the camera. She was very much, I will come to you when I need attention. But she was so cute. And when we got her, here, I'll switch back so I can make her now. Come on, there we go. When we got her, we went to the animal shelter. And in this one little cage, all the way by themselves, there were two calicos. Now, that's a lot like her back coloring, but not really like her. That's pretty close all on its own. There were two little kittens, completely separated all by themselves, and they were the last two from this litter who had, I'm assuming, been dropped off. And we didn't really know very much about them other than that there were 2 left. So my mom takes them in her one hand and she's holding them in front of me. Keeping in mind that I'm just 2 years old. And she's like, you gotta pick one. And I'm like, one? Just what, kitties? You know, I wanted both of them. Just take them both home. Love them both forever. Because, oh gosh, I love little kittens. And I think I always have. So she's holding them, and my cat had the white and the deep orange and the black. And her sister had the white and the deep orange, but she had gray instead of black, which was kind of cool. I wish I had, like, seen that as a grown person. There. I think we actually need this, and we need this off. I don't like this mirror tool always being on. But we picked her, well, I picked her, and then my mom was telling me earlier today, apparently, when we were still at the animal shelter, I had named her, and I thought this was the craziest thing, because I don't think I'd ever heard this before. At 2 years old, with never having seen any show with the name, I named her Tabitha. And my mom was like, "You gonna name her Tabitha?" And I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I do." And she spent the longest time trying to figure out where I had heard the name. We still have no idea. Not a darn clue. And I just thought that was the strangest part of when we got her. Because nobody figured it out. I'm not even sure my dad could. And for the longest time, she was my dad's little buddy. Like, if you could have best friends with an animal, they were the prime example. See, she had this cool little mark, like a wing thing going on. No, it went to about here. It's hard to see. It's so hard to recreate that. No, how about that? Blend that. Actually, I think that's supposed to be orange. One time my cousin's German Shepherd tackled me into a creek. I made my cousin buy me a new phone. For my new puppy, I had a dog named Marshmallow. Oh, that's a pretty good name for a poodle, though. Marshmallow. And yeah, your cousin definitely should have bought you a new phone. My goodness. I wonder if... How am I doing? I think I'm doing pretty good, actually. Anyway, where was I? Yes, my dad and this cat. They were inseparable best friends. And my dad was like, "I'm not super into cats." I distinctly remember this. And she would crawl into bed at night with them and completely just try to cuddle with them. It was super cute. And then when we moved here, she mostly wanted to come and visit between the bedrooms. Probably because it's a new house, you know, animals. And she had mostly white legs. It was weird. She has like one spot on her front paw. It was orange. I think she walked through bleach or something. It was kind of weird. Not literally. Oh my goodness. I've never let her do that. Oh, that would have been bad. I need this color. Let's see. Where was it? I think it was like on the back. Somewhere like right there. Yeah, that's about right. No, this was all white. Yeah. Let's see if I can fix her face. There's like one spot that I know I missed. This needs to be smaller. She had a little tiny spot. It was kind of weird. Just a little spot right in the middle. It was big like that. Okay. Oh, it's probably so you can color their tummies. That makes sense. That's actually kind of clever that they did it like this. In case you need to, like, make sure Their tum-tum is all white. Like what I'm doing. Oops, I think yep, I did accidentally hit something. I don't know why I am all stuffy. I guess it's been like allergy season. And the rest of her head was orange. Especially this whole ear. I thought it was kind of cute. She had one ear that was black and one that was orange. Speaking of black. And when we moved, so I finished out my, gosh, what year was it? I think it was in 6th grade. I finished out my school year, and my parents moved without me in March, I think. So there were a few months where I was just staying with my grandparents and my grandparents' awesome weird cat. But my mom used to send my grandmother photos of, you know, just stuff around the house while they were getting everything ready once they moved down here. And she would be going around the house and the cat would kind of just follow and flop herself down somewhere. So she was in most of the photos, and my mom was like, well, this is a good way for her to, you know, see the cat and know that she's okay. Oops. No, I need white. Thank you. I wonder if I can color her nose, because her nose was black. Ooh, I can. Oh, maybe not. Okay. There might be another spot for that. But I used to get all these weird photos of just, you know, they'd be painting a room. Yes, they should add bunnies to Sims. I'm hoping that they add bunnies and horses and parrots and just all kinds of weird stuff. I haven't actually played in the game since getting pets, but I'm kind of looking forward to it because I want to see how animals, you know, react and how they function. Anyway, yes, I used to get weird little photos from my mom that she'd send through my grandmother, and my cat would just be chilling all over the place. I'm like, did you do this intentionally? She's like, no, she was lonely. I'm like, oh, things I didn't need to know. You know, my poor dumb cat was getting all lonely. I taught her one trick in her entire life. Because cats, if you know, they're not, you know, the greatest for teaching tricks. They're very much just chill on their own. And I would sit on the floor with my legs crossed, you know, before I was too tall for doing that. And I would put my arms out to my sides and kind of make like arches with my fists on the floor. And she would go through like making a circle underneath both of my arms, and that's the only thing I ever figured out how to get her to do. And I taught her to do it by just giving her tummy rubs. Well, actually, like chest, like right here. She liked that. And I would do that, and she would just start going in circles, and she loved rubbing her head up against everything. Like, she actually created this tiny little bald spot on one of her temples over next to her ear. And I'm pretty sure it was from rubbing her face against everything. And when I was young, my parents had a platform bed with all these like weird pieces of wood underneath to keep it stabilized, and she'd crawl under there, and you couldn't find her. You couldn't. It was basically, if you did not find her anywhere else in the house, she would be under that bed. And when we were selling our house... Water break, excuse me. When we were selling our house before they got a new bed, she would be under there and nobody knew that we had a cat. And I'm like, how do you not know? Like, I think there was a scratching post somewhere, and we had tucked her litter box underneath our dining room table, which had like folding sides, so you never saw it. Kind of a clever way to do it so that people aren't like, oh, well, it's a house that has a cat. Maybe I don't want to go there. People are weird. She was a medium fur, I think. Actually, that's pretty close. I do not understand this ridge. I saw this while tinkering with cats earlier. There's like a ridge in the fur, and I don't know, man. I do not know. That's pretty close. I could spend a lot of time trying to get the back right, but oh man, it's a pain in the butt. He had a bunny named Chocolate and a sister named Nora. Oh, that's so cute. I was gonna get a bunny when I moved out, but I did not end up moving out, so I did not get a bunny. I was gonna name it something really, really dorky. Like, I actually tossed around naming it like Lucifer and Alfred. Just weird names. I have no idea why I would have picked those. Okay, your cousin's dog has problems. He killed the bunnies? That's mean. Ugh. My mom had a little tiny bunny like right before I was born. In fact, she could have still had it when I was an infant. I don't actually know. My mom had all kinds of weird pets. She had a ferret, she had a bunny, she had a snake. Like, I think she draws her line with pets at spiders. I don't think she would go any further than that. This looks pretty close. This looks like super pretty close. Except that my cat always looked like she was really, really angry. But she wasn't. That was the weirdest part. She was never genuinely angry at anything other than our dog. She was definitely not spoiled. She was just thoroughly loved. That's what I like to call it, my friends. Thoroughly loved. She was lazy, but she was friendly. She really liked women and people who had had cats before. I guess there's like, cats just know. Oh, that's so cute. Don't get to my heart. You're a bunch of pixels, but you're really adorable. Don't do that. She was not playful. Granted, most of the time that I remember her, she was like 5 years old and up. When she was little, she was super playful. She'd apparently like bounce around the house. She was pretty affectionate. My cat, Tabitha, was one of those cats that she was very affectionate, but only when she wanted you to give her attention. And it was one of those things, like, where the cat goes, oh yeah, pet me, love me, and then 3 seconds later, it's like a switch goes off, and they're like, I'm gonna harm you if you don't stop touching me. I never understood animals who did that. Never understood it. This is pretty close. What is up with that tail, though? That is a weird tail. Okay, apparently that's normal. It's in the legs, man! Oh, so strange. So strange. Let's see. We had Tabitha until September 16th, 2010. Now, we were always really good with our pets about, like, making sure that they're healthy and that they're being fed well and that they're being treated right. We never wanted our pets to look or seem neglected. And not just because it would be bad on us, but because if you're going to bring an animal into your family, you should treat it like a family member, you know? You should love it and cuddle it and be its best friend. So one day I came home from school and my poor cat was like not eating, not drinking water. She was just kind of laying in one spot. So I was like, Mom, this doesn't seem right. I know my cat, and that's not right. So my mom was like, all right, we'll watch her tonight, and then we'll call the vet and we'll schedule something if she's not back to normal. Well, what we didn't realize is that it was like a weekend when we would have been trying to schedule things, so we waited through the weekend, and things were not pretty. And I don't remember what date, like in the week that was. In fact, I can probably look it up. September 16, 2010. We'll find out just real quick. Oh, la 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 la. Yes, but what was it? Can you tell me anything else about it? Google is not my friend. I'm, like, scrolling endlessly. How about now? No, okay. Alright, Google, why can't you be friends? Okay, what if I type, like, day of the week? Yeah, that. There we go. Okay, it was a Thursday. Got it. So we must have figured this out on, like, a Saturday, maybe. That's easily possible. But we had to wait, and they were all booked up. So we brought her in on a Thursday morning. I think I missed my first 2 classes, or my first class of the day. And let's see, I would have been a freshman that year. Yeah, that sounds right. Because I graduated in 2013. My stories are interesting. I'm glad they sound interesting. I know I'm kind of losing my mind over here trying to find dates. So we took her to the vet, and I felt so bad. I felt so super bad because she'd been sick for the better part of a week. And I kid you not, we never saw any signs. She, like, randomly went downhill, and the vet was like, yeah, she's going into kidney failure. You know, you can have expensive surgeries, or, you know, you can let her go without putting her through any pain. And I was like, wow. Well, I guess I have to go with letting her go, because I didn't want to be selfish and try to keep her or make her go through surgery, or, you know, because that feels kind of wrong to me. Sometimes I can understand having surgeries for your pet, you know, to fix something, like if they have a hip problem and you help fix their hip and they're only like a few years old. Makes sense. My cat was 13. I wasn't going to do that to her. It was going to be stressful. She'd already been through the stress of moving here, which was very, very funny, but very, very sad. So we had to put her down, and then I went back to school like an hour later. And I think I should have stayed home, because that was super sad. I didn't know how attached I was until she was gone, and that's the worst thing with pets. I think most people don't realize how much they care about them until it's too late. But I knew that I'd given her just about everything she could have ever asked for, so I felt pretty good about that. Oh, when my parents moved here, she was in a cat carrier, and my dad took one of his shirts, because they were, you know, close little buddies, and he put catnip on it, and he threw it in their cat carrier. So she's, like, half stoned on catnip, just meowling in the back of his car for a 13-hour drive. I felt so bad for my dad. I don't know how he pulled it off. I was only, like, 11, turning 12 at the time. They told me after a while that it was pretty rough. I'm like, great. My poor, old, crotchety, angry cat just doesn't like car rides. That's awful. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have our last one coming up, and then I'll build a house. If there's time. I think there's time. I'll at least try and finish in the next episode. But, transition. Last on the list is the dog that I currently have. She is the most amazing little monster I think I've ever had. And I call her Monster because people are afraid of Doberman. Or Dobermans, blah, me. And she's honestly the sweetest thing I think I've ever met in my entire life. We got her in 2010, the same year that my cat had to, be put down, about 8 months apart. And we got her from a breeder in Texas. And this breeder mostly or only does dobies. And we picked a breeder not because, picking breeders is bad, blah, blah, blah. I know that whole mess. We picked the breeder because she managed to get rid of all these weird genetic problems that Doberman had. And we wanted a nice, healthy dog. You know, we'd had the one who passed of hemolytic anemia when I was like 5. That was sad. It was awful. We'd had this cat forever who just lived and lived and lived. And, you know, we wanted a dog. I was a freshman. And we got her in April. She was born in January. You can see that up at the top. We'll flip back over here and I'll make her. And she's just the biggest dork, and she's so sweet. And I've never understood why people are like, oh my god, they're so scary. Like, yeah, maybe she looks scary, but take 5 seconds and play with her. She'll, like, lean on you and give you cuddles. Actually, this isn't very far off at all. But if you follow me on Twitter or if you've seen my Instagram, I post pictures of her all the time because she's just this big dork. And she turned 8 years old, but she's still a puppy at heart. It's the greatest thing. And she likes to eat birds. We don't necessarily encourage it. I know you're not supposed to encourage your dog to, like, eat birds, whole, live birds, just gross. But we have a pigeon problem. And she kind of fixes that for us. She'll run out there and she'll grab one up if it fell from a tree or if it's injured or just, you know, life cycle. She'll grab one, eat it, prance around the yard eating a bird. It's gross. I won't touch her face for a good day once she does that because I don't want bird on me, you know, ew. I was asking the vet, we took her in just for a checkup, I think like 6-8 months ago, and the vet's like, so are you feeding her birds or is she hunting them? And I'm like, oh no, she hunts them down herself in the yard. And the vet's like, oh, that's quite strange for an 8-year-old dog. I'm like, yeah, is it bad? The vet's like, well, no, not really. They're not cooked, so they're just raw birds, protein. Gross. But she's super cuddly other than her desire for hunting birds. We like to call her the huntress. And this is where Sims bothers me, because she's very independent because she's an alpha female, but you can't click loyal if you have the independent trait, and our dog is super duper loyal. And I honestly think she is more loyal than independent. Like, if she had to pick between running away or being with her people, I'm pretty sure she would actually pick being with her people. We got her just a couple... How much longer am I streaming? I am streaming probably for about another half hour. We got Ginger, that's her name, just a couple weeks before my mom's birthday, but we'd been planning to get her, like, 2 months before she was actually born. So I think that's a good 6-month span between planning together and actually having her. And my mom, for her birthday, went out with my aunt, and we had this dog that had only been around for 2 weeks. So my dad and I are trying to take care of her. I'm a freshman in high school. I have morning practices at 5 a.m. I'm super tired. I pass out trying to, you know, cuddle with the puppy on the couch downstairs. I wake up to thump. I let her roll off the couch. I let my 4-month-old puppy roll off the couch. I was mortified. I was like, oh my god, I think I broke it. No, she's fine. I don't know what I was thinking. She was just laying on the couch next to me. I didn't realize, you know, puppies move in their sleep. Oh, man. She used to harass our cat, the cat that I just made. And she would drive this cat up a goddamn wall. She would chase her around the house, which is why the baby gate came into play. And the baby gate still exists, because when Ginger was just a little puppy, she knocked it down off of the stairs, scared the bejesus out of herself, and decided, no, it is not worth it to mess with the baby gate. And 8 years later, she still does not mess with the baby gate. It's great and hilarious all at the same time. And quietly set down the water bottle so it doesn't make noise through the microphone. Ginger has docked ears, which I didn't agree with at first, but I can kind of understand docking ears. These dobies are really, really active. Wow, that looks hilarious. Those are satellite dishes. Okay. Dobies are incredibly active dogs, and if they catch their ears on something, they could rip their ears. And they can get infections, and it's just not great. But we had her ears docked and we had her tail docked because they have incredibly fragile tails. I thought it would be kind of cute if she had long ears, but my dad was like, no, we don't want her to break her ears and get snags. I was like, okay, fine. And her markings are honestly about this precise. She's got these cute little spots, the little orange spots above her eyes. And I swear to you, Ginger expresses emotion when she's happy or when she's sad. You can kind of tell by the placement of her little tiny eyebrows. And most of the time she's smiling like a big doofus, like in the pictures that I showed you. And she has an awesome mohawk down her neck, her whole neck. Because bred into a Doberman is a Rhodesian Ridgeback. And the Rhodesian Ridgeback has a ridgeback, it looks like a little mohawk. And not all Doberman will have a mohawk, but it's super cool when they get it, and I absolutely love it because, I can pick my dog out of a crowd, other than the fact that when I yell Ginger, she'll come running. And I'm just, I love her so much. She's such a goofball. And she's pretty small. Like, I think she's about 5 pounds above the show dog standard, which is pretty tiny. She's only about 68, 70 pounds. She's getting a little heavy in her old age. Which is not all that old. She's only 8. She acts like she's 2. We'll never understand how we lucked out with that, but it's great. We also dress her up around the holidays. We give her little sweaters, which she initially hated, but oh yeah, that's super scary. She initially hated the little sweaters that we would give her. Oh, it is a heart. But I think she grew to realize that she needs them because she shivers in the winter, and that's why one year I had to put my sweatshirt on her. I think I showed you guys that picture. It's probably the funniest picture. I'll go back. It's this one over here. This was my ROTC sweatshirt. My PT sweatshirt, actually. And I just tossed it on her one day because she was running around shivering all day long. And I felt really bad because I didn't have anything I could put on her. I don't have, kids' clothes. That's what she would wear. And she just walked around with a sweatshirt on all freaking day. Looked like a massive dork. My dad comes home and he's like, what is our dog wearing? I'm like, don't worry about it. I fixed the problem. But she's great. I highly recommend getting a Doberman at some point in your life. They're a ball of just complete love. And they're super protective without being aggressive. You just have to take care of them. That's the thing. All these dogs, like pit bulls and Rottweilers and Dobies, even German Shepherds, you just have to put the love and the energy in, and you'll get it back. Because they just need attention. Which not a lot of people will put the effort in to train them. Let's see, did I name everything? I did. I named every single one. 'Cause I'm awesome. Watch, this is gonna be great. Just a buttload of animals. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Why does she only hold that one? Why can't you hold the big one? Ginger's pretty funny. We took her to the, what's it called? The place where you get the groomer. Wow, welcome to dyslexia. We took her to the groomer once, and I think she was about 1.5 years, 2 years old. So we didn't know how to cut her claws without hurting her, and we didn't want to hurt her. She has the most pitiful face when she's sad. But we took her to the groomer, and we're picking her up, and she jumps over their gate. Completely, just fully jumps over the gate. And my dad has to catch her, right? So, of course, our, at the time, 62-pound Doberman just flew at my dad full force. The lady's like, well, I can't say that we've seen that before. Like, I would really hope not. Maybe you need a taller gate. Let's see. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, they're adorable. See, I wish she was just a little bit bigger. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I've never been able to play in cats and dogs and, like, see the animals. And this is just some chick that I made the other day. Oh, this is great. That is a lot of animals. Can you imagine having all of these animals and being, like, a lonely spinster? Oh, man. Let's see here. I need to get build mode. There it is. I'm still used to build mode being somewhere easier to find. So I played a lot of Sims 3. Actually played a lot of Sims 2 and Sims 3. Let's see, we are looking at about 20 minutes. I can probably start the house. I'll have to finish it in the next one, of course. But yes, I don't think I've ever loved my dog as much as, or rather, I don't think I've loved anything as much as I love my dog. She's great. I'd do just about anything for her. Like, you name it, I'd do it. That's not the button that I wanted it to be. Maybe I should do, well, this first. Your pets are awesome. Well, thank you for thinking that my pets are awesome. Granted, 2 of them aren't actually mine, but, you know, I figured I'd make any pets that I could at least remember. How much space does a driveway need? I don't know, let's find out. I'd like to think that I lucked out and had some really cool pets as a kid. And really cool parents for, like, constantly getting me pets. I didn't realize that, you know, when my dog passed away, we got a cat just a couple years later. When the cat was, you know, kind of a butthole, we let her quietly go somewhere where she would eventually find a good home. But I didn't realize they were so good about that. I was very used to having just the one cat. She was freaking awesome. I loved her. But what I'm gonna try to build, if I can, so, like, without the backyard, I'll try to build the house that I lived in as a kid. I think that's enough room for a garage, right? Maybe? I don't know. I'm asking you the questions. This pretty much went straight across, and then this pretty much went straight across. Let's see, I grew up in a house that was about 1,700 to 1,800 square feet. It was just a little house, but it was pretty cool. I know there was, like, a window over here, and then, like, the door. Ooh. It always startles me when it spontaneously shakes the screen and turns everything black. This would have been so much smaller. Yeah, this entire thing would have been a lot smaller. This is too big. And this would have been way out here. Help with your room designer. I mean, you are more than welcome to help with room design once I get there. I can't even remember what my, like, living room looked like as a kid. I just remember having really, really 90s furniture, because it was my parents' house. This looks like it might be about right. Yeah, something like that. I grew up in Northern California, which is, you know, probably audible in my accent or lack thereof. Sometimes I have an accent. What am I clicking? I don't even know. There we go. Let's see if I can figure this out. I've got to be able to do this. Eventually I'll figure this out. I don't have any blueprints to go off of. I was doing some streams the other day. Actually, I think it was like last week. What am I saying? The other day. And I was building houses based off of blueprints. And I think I'm going to do that again because it was pretty fun. I got a lot of cool stuff done. But I do not have any blueprints to go off of this time. I just have my memory. There was a tiny bedroom, and then there was my bedroom, except... No, my bedroom was against the garage wall. Yeah, that's right. I think I'm close. I've got to be close. Watch, I'm like completely wrong. But my room was small, and then this room was teeny tiny. We had this itty bitty bedroom. Like, it was supposed to be a 3-bedroom house, but this room was like 3/4 of a bedroom. It was tiny. Like, it didn't even have a full-sized closet with like the sliding doors. Its closet was downscaled to fit the room. It was so small. I did not understand. Not at all. Oh, that's why I thought the master was bigger. Because the master had a little bathroom thing going on. Oh, here. And then that extended over here. I make ridiculous sounds. I don't know why. Don't ask me. And what else? There would have been like a laundry area over here. Actually, it was... Yeah, this is actually right, because the door here and a door here, and the laundry area was right here. See, I know what I'm doing. I am remembering things. I am remembering all of the things. We'll move this one over. Did my microphone decide to freak out again? Is that what you're saying? I can't actually tell if it did. It looks like it may have. I'm making noises. What do you mean I'm making noises? Now I'm just watching my chat. Let's think. And I know there was like an archway, but I can't really make the archway because it wants to do this funny good old 80s buildings, am I right? No. Wait, can I link that? No. Guess I'll just have to do it like that. Let's see, where was I? I got distracted by somebody telling me about my soundboard. I'm not really sure what you mean by soundboard. I don't have one, actually. I think this may have even been slightly smaller. Like, believe it or not, tiny. No, that looks way too small. That's gotta be close. With my thinking noises. Oh. Oh, you're calling me a soundboard. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, I have all kinds of weird sounds that I make when I'm thinking and talking to myself. I have only child syndrome. I talk to myself, I entertain myself. This was definitely wider over here. So my mom used to have her desk, and then it would turn into my room. So maybe this was just like, no, would you please let me click? Gosh. How rude. Maybe it was like that. Yeah. One day I'll have to like show you guys a picture if I ever finish this thing. And then there was my closet. And then, see, you can't make it go just right. Ah. I've got to be close. I think I'm close. This house was built in like 1989, so like the walls and everything were so strange. I know that's like washer space. Can I even get an archway in here? Watch, it won't let me. Let's see, where is the archway? No, come here. Yep, it won't let me. Nice. Let's see how it is. Now will it let me? No, of course not. Ugh, you butt. I wonder, what if I do like a this? Where's the wall? Give me walls! Come here. I do like that, maybe? No, because it's not even big enough. That's big enough. Unless I do this. Watch, I have to like cheat it. And I know this wasn't this big, so this could have been over here more. And this definitely could have. Would you please move? Maybe more like that. That looks right. Or at least more right. It's hard to build houses from memory on Sims sometimes. Especially when they're just weirdly shaped. Oddly shaped. They're shaped. Put that there. It doesn't look like I can have this quite right. I wonder if I can leave it like that and it'll let me put the archway in. Watch, maybe it will. Let's have hope. Yes! I win! This totally didn't look like this. Shh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's all good. Walls. Why do I always have trouble finding the wall? I don't know. Like, I'm asking you because you can answer my strange questions. I'm trying to make closets, okay? I'm trying. And then there was a wall here. Hold up. This was not a wall. This, no, give me back my corner piece. Thank you, butt munch. I like calling things names. This was a half wall. Yeah. I got it now. See if we can at least finish the skeleton of this thing before I have to leave. That's a lot of weird walls, right? Maybe that's just me. And then this was a closet with like doors. I don't know, stuff. Sliding doors. I wish they had that in Sims. To my knowledge, they still don't. Like the weird double door things. This is probably close. No, that's see-through. I was so close. When will you stream again? Tomorrow morning. Well, afternoon. If you scroll down on my page, I have an event schedule going on, and I have listed my next streams. I'm mostly doing Overwatch for a while, but I have a few selected as Sims, just specific days to do Sims, because I thought I should definitely set aside time for this awesome game. But I believe tomorrow, which is Saturday, question mark? Yes, it is. I'm losing my mind today. Tomorrow I should be streaming from noon to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm in Arizona, so that's what that is. Basically, I think for every time zone, you just add another hour. So, like, Texas, it's probably 1 p.m. And I think East Coast, it's like 3 hours more. I'm not super great with that part of math. I don't, space, time, states, countries. Though if you scroll even further down to my regular schedule, I do have listed on some part of the day when that should occur for, like, different time zones. I tried very hard to make sure I didn't forget that. See, this is like this, sort of. And then this is like this. Yes! We had the weirdest shaped dining room when I was a kid. Like, this was the dining space. I never understood it. Actually, this would have been like a single archway. I have hiccups. Why do I have hiccups? That is not okay. Is this... Why are these archways so wide? My goodness. Find like a regular... Where are the regular archways? Do they really not have that? I'm losing my mind! Granted, I think all the ceilings in this house were not that tall, maybe that tall. So maybe under medium doors? Watch, that's perfect or something. Nope, it's not. Maybe that? Nope. Good talk. We'll just copy this one for the sake of it. And we'll actually move this back one. How about you extend yourself, your butt? And this and this were actually different. I think this went like that. Yeah. Something like that. That's really close. Actually, this probably could have been just right here. Why you no follow, homie? Yeah. We'll do that like that. Actually, we could probably just remove that. Put that there. Poof. Ta-da! No, no ta-da? Okay. And this... right there. No, that's way too small. I mean, that's probably about right, but gosh, it looks tiny. Okay. Teeny tiny bathrooms. Let's see, we have like a few minutes. I can probably finish the last of the walls. I think this is close. This looks like about the layout of my house. So it's the garage, some kind of weird like sitting living space. What should have been the dining room, but was actually where my mom put her desk. My room. The room that we called the craft room because it was itty-bitty and my mom did craft work in there and I did my homework. A little bathroom, some laundry space, my parents' room and their bathroom, and then in here there's a split probably right about here between the kitchen and the like family room, living room. So technically we didn't have a real dining room. I sat at this little like peninsula island thingy that we had in the kitchen. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I have like super duper stuffy nose allergies going on. I don't know why. Oh man, we get to recreate my awful 90s cabinets. That's too ornate. What about these? They were pretty rough. Yeah, that's about right. Some kind of weird orangey yellow with white countertops. Oh, the 90s were great. Actually, these should be like that. This is way too big. Yeah, this should not be there. Hold up, wait a minute. It's the same. These are the same. Yeah, but where's the island part? Okay. I did this wrong. But yes, if you're still curious, I have a complete like stream schedule. I'm trying to stick to it. I'm trying very hard to stick to it. It took a long time to set it up, and I want to make sure that I keep to my promised schedule. Oh, good night to you too. Yeah, it's probably about time for me to call it. I'm gonna see if I can't just finish making... Yeah, that looks about right. So I think in the next Sims stream, in fact, let's see if I can get over to my Twitch real quick. When am I streaming this again? Oh yeah, so Saturday the 10th. Oh, I have a typo on here. Oh goodness me. That's not good. Yeah, I have Saturday the 10th written twice. There we go. So tomorrow night is a Sims night. I almost forgot about that. Yeah. So tomorrow I'll hopefully try to finish this house. Thank you guys for stopping in. It's been fun. I made a lot of animals and told a lot of stories. And it looks like I've got the skeleton for the house finished. I didn't think I'd actually be able to finish on time. That's kind of cool. So in the next one, I will finish this and decorate it and paint it and all that fun stuff. Tell more awesome stories. And hopefully that's the whole stream, because I don't have anything else planned for the next one other than finishing up this house. But that's going to be it for this stream. If you guys want to check out anything else that I've done in Sims or that I've done in Overwatch, because I think that's all I've been able to stream, I have all of my VODs over on my YouTube. There's a link somewhere on my page, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!